Mastering anything in life genuinely comes from mastering your mind first. That's what most people don't understand. Everyone wants good relationships, successful job or occupation or financial ability, to be in amazing shape. But they don't realize that you can give someone the blueprint in order to actually achieve these things. All the information's online. But the reason that most people don't have what they want is because they aren't the person worthy of having it. It simply comes down to identity shift. That's the most simple thing, the way to put it. And that's the thing that most people miss. For example, obviously I'm a fitness coach. And when I start getting my clients prepared to make their transformation, I frame them as the person they need to become starting day one in order to actually get to where they want to be. A misconception is change takes time. No, change actually takes one moment to make a decision to start acting like the person that they want to become. That person that they want to become in amazing shape, financial ability, with good relationships. What are their habits? What is their mindset? How do they act? How do they view the world? And then that's the person that you commit to becoming in order to actually make it possible to become that person. It starts mentally. And then the results take time. The results are delayed. But the commitment to change and become that person is one instantaneous moment. Mel Robbins said that quote. Change doesn't take time. The results take time. Change happens in one moment of committing to become the person worthy of reaching that goal, whatever the goal is. That's the problem. That's why most people don't get where they want to be. You can give someone a meal plan. You can give someone 300 pounds a meal plan. But if they're not committed to becoming the person worthy of actually losing 150 pounds, then it's not going to do anything. That's why you can go in GPT. That's why you can go in search of a meal plan, yet all of America is overweight. Why? Not because of knowledge, lack of knowledge, not knowing what to do. But it's because they aren't committed and they aren't becoming that person who's able to overcome hardship, who's able to get back up when they get knocked on their ass. That's the hard part. It's not following a meal plan for a week. It's following a meal plan for months or years. Becoming that person who's able to overcome hardship and look at hardship as something beneficial. If you knew it would take 100 times getting knocked on your ass in order to reach your goal, how quickly would you be looking and excited to get knocked on your ass? How eager would you be to get fucking shit on by life? Because in reality, that's the hardest part of reaching any goal. The inevitable hardship and struggles and battles mentally and physically that will come along the process of getting there. And if you're fixated on avoiding any hardship or failure, you'll never get there. Because the difference between failure and success, the ones who succeed they don't avoid failure altogether. They just get back up. They actually search for failure. They search for the hardship, understanding that it's part of the process, and that helps forge them into the person worthy of reaching the goal. Because if there was no hardship along the way, it'd be too easy and there'd be no value in it. It wouldn't be scarce. Value comes with scarcity. So reframing your mindset, realizing if something bad happens to you when you're going for a goal, it's not a sign, oh, I can't do this. It's a sign, yes, it's actually working. This is forging me into the person I need to become. When you feel the most lost, the most stuck, the most frustrated, that is the exact sign that you should keep going. That is the exact sign that a breakthrough is coming, because the depth of your struggle directly correlates to the height of your success. And if you're able to realize that and acknowledge that, that is the most powerful thing you could do with any goal in life. And that's why I talk about how fitness, mastering your fitness, can teach you lessons for everything else in life. Your relationships, your finances. There's a reason that it's more rare to have a six-pack than be a millionaire. Because it's the hardest thing to accomplish. Master your fitness. And the things you learn through mastering your fitness are applied to everything else in life. The resilience required, getting knocked in your ass, the mental battles, the showing up when you don't want to, the discipline. The being different when everyone around you is being average and normal and thinking you're weird and psycho. But in all honesty, they're the psycho ones in your head because you are going after things that they don't have. So you can't take advice from people you wouldn't switch places with. Because if you surround yourself with people that aren't where you want to be, you become the average of those people. But if you surround yourself with people that are above you or where you want to be, you start becoming the average of those people. You're the average of who you surround yourself with. So you can't expect to surround yourself with a group of people who don't understand where you're trying to go or aren't where you want to be and expect to get there. It's impossible. You hang out with 5 drug addicts, you become a drug addict. You hang out with 5 millionaires, you become a millionaire. But at the end of the day, you have to search for struggle and realize that you must shift your identity in order to reach a goal. It's not about doing the actions. It's about the person you are mentally, the resilience you have, the mindset, the habits you have. That's way more powerful, because if you start becoming that person who's already reached the goal that you're trying to reach, that's when the progress becomes seamless. It feels like you've already been there. You're equipped for this. This is meant for you. Rather than being the person that you are today, not at your goal, and trying to just do the task required, you're inevitably going to fall off and realize, this is why I don't do it. I'm just going to wait for this time. This is why I've never started. This is why I can't reach the goal. But it comes down to self-talk, realizing, no, I'm already this person. The results are just delayed. I already made the commitment to become this version of myself. The results are just delayed. And I know hardship is part of the process. I know that I'm going to get knocked on my ass. And the difference between failure and success is simply just getting up one more time than you fall. That's what's required. That mental framework is required to reach any goal. It's not about the information to go and execute. Oftentimes it's action over information, over perfection. Imperfect action is what's required. Most times you just have to go after it and refuse to fail. Be delusional. When all feels like it's failing and you feel like there's no chance of success, oftentimes that means a breakthrough is coming. If you're able to be delusional and commit to doing whatever is required, actually whatever is required, because a lot of people say, I'll do whatever it takes, but then they fold at the slightest inconvenience. If you're committed to actually doing whatever is required, that's when it'll be seamless, because you are that person. And that person that has reached your goal, you have to start realizing, oh, that person who already has mastered their fitness and finances or whatever I'm going after, that person is resilient. They get up when they fall. They don't succumb to peer pressure or being average. They just don't. They don't succumb to the norms of people around them. It's not information that's the problem. It's the lack of identity shift from who you are to who you need to be. So my homework, if you have a goal, rather than trying to figure out the steps to get there, first things first, you need to become that person today mentally. Make the commitment to change. Change doesn't take time. It takes one moment of commitment. The results are delayed. But when you make that commitment to yourself to become that person that's already reached your goal, that person out there, that's when it becomes seamless. You start embodying that person. And oftentimes, once you embody that person, the mindset and the intentions that they have, that's enough. You don't need the information. You figure that out as you go. Obviously, the information is all out there. It's all online, whether it's for fitness, how to start a business, whatever it is. But the hardest part, the reason that's stopping most people, is because they don't become that person that has it mentally today with a commitment. They just try to stay the same person with the same habits, same mindset, and try to do what's required, or they just think about it and push it off to the perfect time. But that's not going to work, because that person that they are not at their goal, that might be you, isn't able to overcome hard times, isn't able to push past, be resilient, and do whatever's required to reach a goal, or else it would have already been done. That's why you must envision deeply that version of yourself who's at your goal today and become that person who's capable of whatever life throws at them. And that's when it will be absolutely seamless to get to where you want to be. That's it. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's truly simple. It starts with having fucking high standards for yourself, having high praise, and realizing, I am this person today. The results are just delayed. And whether they show immediately or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to consistently show up with the inputs day after day, detached from the outcome, and the outcome is inevitable to come. It's inevitable because I'm showing up with the inputs every day. I'm not thinking about, oh, this is going to take this amount of time. This is going to take this much work. Instead, I go one step at a time, one stair at a time, rather than looking at the whole staircase, because that causes inaction due to fear and getting overwhelmed. But if you go step by step, then that will be enough to not overwhelm you. Have 5 simple tasks to do each day, rather than be like, I need to do a million things over these next 6 months. Focus on each and every single day. And that's when you're able to look back 6 months later and be like, I got a lot of shit done. I don't know how I did that. But it's because I was just focused on each and every day rather than the entire process, because that would have been too overwhelming and would have stalled my action. But oftentimes you just need action. Action is all that's required. And in order to get that and consistently be able to execute on that action, regardless of the life circumstance, you need to shift your identity into that person that you want to become today. Whatever that goal is, that version of yourself, you become them today. The person who's capable of showing up day after day and focusing on one step at a time and detaching from the outcome, knowing that if they show up with those inputs and are delusional to know that if they put in enough work, it's impossible to fail, regardless of what anyone says, how crazy it seems, how different you are to society. That's when it'll succeed.